Ayn Rand is provably wrong. Hey there, everyone. Hello, Larken Rose. I'm an anarcho-spiritualist, someone who believes in the consistent application of rules in society, and that society is synonymously both the individual and the collective. And that by this means we are a singular entity that does not in physical terms exist, and yet as separate beings we can interact with each other. This is why Ayn Rand is wrong. A equals A. A cannot do anything but be itself. If Ayn Rand was right, nothing would exist. A singular entity cannot exist. There is nothing to interact with. It's only with difference that there is anything to be seen. The irreducible complexity, is why there are quantum orbits. Light is what composes everything. Everything is energy. If energy can only be energy, then energy cannot exist. What are you? What am I? What is anything but manifested energy? Interactive energy. The reason that we exist is that there is the illusion of separation, which makes existence and manifesting possible. If you understand and agree that the God and the government concept are parallel in structure, then it makes sense to speak up about the ideas of God. It's not for no reason that you see this shape. That's not manufactured, that's how the light looks on there. Light relates to the relation and relating of information. That information includes existence. By DNA, which has 4 base pairs. These pairs correlate to space and time, otherwise known as time-space, space-time. When RNA records DNA, it unzips it to absorb the information. This unzipping correlates with ghost activity. Likewise to all our many dramatic cosmic transitions, this is a very confusing time, which is why it's usually completely incoherent as to what's being said and is usually inaccurate or invalid. This correlates to quantum burn, which is also why in doing predictions, such as for the Roman Empire, that advantage from the prophecies was impossible. And whenever you try to prevent that thing from happening, it seems to end up making it happen. So here's the basic point. Yes, that would mean that there is an intelligence underlying the universe. You are that intelligence. Aren't you intelligent? Well, therefore, that is proof that there is intelligence in the universe. And how can you separate yourself from the universe? Therefore, the universe is part of you, and the universe is likewise intelligent as it contains you. That's why I talk about this with Christians, with Muslims, with whomever. Even though I may find it painful, I think it's very useful to address and attack that exact same concept so that there can be an understanding that we all need to be included in this picture. No one is exempted from the rules of society, whether it be government, whether it be God, because we are all the same organism. We are all the government or all God. And that is based on how we systematically interact with each other, whether that's going to be by coercion or by voluntary interactions. At the core of religion is the same idea that there is at the core of government. You exist, you bad. You owe, bad you. Therefore, give to me. Therefore, I have the right to on you, on everyone, as a god, as an exempt being from the rules of society. Cancer happens when your cells forget how they work and they just keep growing and focus on survival, which is what government is. And what is that forgetting about? Self-care. It's the extreme of non-existence by way of belief. In trying to be so objective that you've removed the observer from the equation, you've removed yourself from the equation because you're observing. If there's no observation possible, how can you see a result of an experiment that was not observed? Indirect observation is also observation. It's information passing to you from that event that you're trying to be objective about. You have become one with the truth, that of nothing existing, ultimately, that this all is one grand illusion of separation, of energetic movement such that it looks like it's solid. And now you live that reality and cease to exist. That is a very mechanically minded version of the universe, one where irreducible complexity has been knocked out, where consciousness, the ability to think, the ability to be aware, is eliminated. It is completely automated. Problem, reaction, solution. And this might sound to you like subjectivism, because it is. It's the other side of it. Objectivism, or being objective, is about making yourself not even part of the equation. You float off into oblivion. Subjectivism is narcissism. Only you exist and only you matter, so much so that, oh my god, you're triggering me. Why are you there, you fascist? The ego is supreme. And this is also known as Satanism. Only the material world exists. This life is the only shot you got at existing, and after this, my god, everything is gone. Both views are equally schizophrenic. And thus, like with this, there is neither the subscription to subjectivity and relativism, nor is there to objectivity and objectivism. As a side note, I'm really curious about your thoughts about Adam Kokesh's latest debate with someone. It went over really interestingly, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. Thank you for watching, and have you heard of Minds.com? There are a lot of new websites that are working on developing open source social media, and I highly recommend you checking them out. If you're not Larken Rose, be sure to subscribe to Larken Rose and click on his bell. He's got good content. I mean, that's assuming, of course, that you like this content and content about anarchy in general.